Hornets Coaches Show with head coach Rodney Southern, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Now, here's Carlos Zimmerman and Brian Adams.
And a pleasant good evening, Chick-fil-A, folks. How we doing tonight? Let me hear you. Come on.
There they are. Now we can hear them.
Yeah. Working out some of the technical glitches tonight. But, hey, we are glad to be back here tonight at Chick-fil-A. If you are just joining us here for the first time, we are glad you're with us here tonight. I'm Carlos, the voice of the Hornets, alongside my main man, Brian Adams, my color analyst. And with us tonight to kick things off is the man of the hour himself, head coach Rodney Southern. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, please. Coach, quite a game Friday night. Obviously, not on the winning end of it, but you guys showed some flashes of greatness, is what we said on the broadcast. Just get an opening statement from you on what your thoughts were from Friday night.
Well, I thought we were outmatched physically, which, you hate to admit that in a game, but A&M Consolidated is a good football team. I thought they were a top 5 team in the state. I thought going in, and we talked about it last week, we would be able to line up and run the football on anybody, and that didn't materialize. But there were a lot of other things that happened Friday night that we can build on. We asked a bunch of young kids, and I told them as of last Friday night, I'm not going to use the word young anymore because now they've got some experience. But, we made enough plays in times to get some drives, and obviously Savion made 2 big plays. Austin made 2 really good throws to him. We got in the red zone a couple other times, and it was disappointing. We didn't get points either time. But, we're playing a tough non-district schedule for a reason. We've got to get our program back in the playoffs, and that's a long way away from now. But that's the reason for playing teams like that. It's the reason we're playing a 6A team Friday night. Because you've got to get that experience in order to have success. In order to have success, you got to get experience.
Coach, looking at the offensive side of the ball, you mentioned Austin Taylor, for his first game at the varsity level, just from a broadcaster's perspective, his first live action game, no less, very impressive. Just, a couple of mistakes here and there, but you expect that to happen. But overall impressive. What did you take away from his play Friday night?
Well, I told him at the end of the game, we were in the dressing room, and I pulled him over and set him down beside me, and I asked him, how did he feel about what he did? And he said he felt pretty good about it. And I said, well, were you nervous? I said, now be honest. He said, yeah, I was extremely nervous, which, young kids are going to be that way. But, we had no intentions of asking him to throw the ball 51 times Friday night. And the ability that he showed to be able to take coaching and do the things he needed to do and made big plays. And we had 7 balls dropped that, that could have been another, 50 yards of offense. Now, we were not in a position where we were going to ask him to do that, but the ability to be able to adjust in a game, I was very proud of him. I was very proud of our receivers, and I thought at times our O-line was physically outmatched, but they protected him well. We just couldn't run the football, and that changes your whole mentality when the week before you've had success running it. And we've got a couple guys that were banged up a little bit that, we weren't going to let anybody know that. But, overall, yeah, you hate to lose a game, but I know what we're playing and I know what we're preparing for. And I was definitely proud of all of our inexperienced guys and probably how much they grew up.
Coach, continuing talking about the offensive game, it's no secret the run game just wasn't there for you guys. What do you plan to do to remedy that going forward?
Well, I think the biggest part of that, it wasn't necessarily us. It was the people lined up across from us. We got in a hole the first drive. With a couple penalties and a bad snap. So now you're behind the 8 ball before you ever start the game. And against good people, you can't do that. But, we're going to go back and continue to rep our run game because there's going to be a point where we've got to be able to rely on that. But at the same time, if people are going to give us what they gave us the other night, then we've got to take advantage of it and throw the ball.
Hey, Coach. Flipping over to kind of the defensive side of the ball, there were flashes of greatness like the interception for Jacob Ruffin and some big hits as well with Kadarian Easley. What do you like out of the defense against – what did you like about the defense against a very, as you just said, tough consolidated team?
Well, I think the thing I like most the whole night is none of our kids ever dropped their head, even though we were behind. I thought defensively, because, and I told them Saturday morning, our Coach Del Real, our defensive coordinator, that's the first our first game he's called as a defensive coordinator, so he's inexperienced learning how to handle situations. But I thought our kids played hard. If you were to ask me now, is A&M better than us? Yes, they are. Physically, they're better than we are this year. And, you don't like to hear that, but you have to accept that because you got to be able to build on what you did well. Again, you've got some young guys over there or inexperienced guys that I thought played as hard as they could play. We just put them in some tough situations sometimes.
One of the things that I take away from it seems to me like you got a pretty good little rivalry going on with them. I mean, obviously with the district change and things like that, them going to, the Big 5A, but just right up Highway 30, man, this has turned into quite a little competition between the two schools. I mean, we win one, they win one. We kind of go back and forth. What has that kind of done for you? And I know you have a good coach relationship with Fedora, so how's that kind of working out?
Well, I think that program, and I think College Station High School as well, I think those programs, we compete with them in the junior high. We compete with them in 7-on-7. We see them at 7-on-7 tournaments. So, there's a lot of stuff where our kids have played them since they were in the 7th grade. So, but I think they both programs do a good job of preparing their kids. They always seem to have big, and then I thought they were bigger this year than they were a year ago. Those two interior D linemen are as good as we've seen probably in 2 years. So, I think the rivalry is definitely there, and I think it's something for me and for us as coaches. We want to continue because, in 2018, 19, 20, we played people like that in the 3rd or 4th round of the playoffs. So you've got to prepare your team at some point to play those kind of people.
Coach, continuing to talk about Friday night, when addressing the secondary, there were a good amount of deep balls that made it over the top of for their receivers for A&M Consolidated. Save maybe one that was caught on a deflection. What have you and your DB coaches been working on it with your secondary and practice this week to bounce back after those miscues?
Well, the biggest thing when that happens is you're probably not getting pressure on the quarterback. And some of those, if you ask your DBs to cover for 2.5 seconds or longer, then, people in high school and good programs are going to make plays. So it's a combination of things. Now, the one that Jacob and third broke on at the same time and the ball bounces up in the air, that's probably an inexperienced decision on Jacob. He should have tried to pick the ball instead of hitting the guy. But that's one of those things you hate to learn a lesson like that, but it'll make you better, just like we had a rep right at the end of practice before we left that was very similar to that, and he made the right decision and broke on the ball. So, but you got to get pressure on the quarterback. You can't let him stand back there and have that much time.
And, Coach, briefly touching on special teams, not a whole lot of action for them out there, but from the action they did see, what did you like out of them?
Well, I thought Claudio, again, another sophomore that's, he's having to play a position and kick. I thought his first kick was not very good, but he settled down later, and the second and third one was really good because we're asking him to place the ball in a position, and sometimes that's difficult, especially if you just played an 8 or 9 play drive prior to that. So we're definitely repping other guys, but Claudio is going to be really good. We put him under a lot of pressure today in practice, field goal wise, because at some point, hopefully in the early part of the season, we're going to have him make a field goal for us to win a game.
Brian, any final thoughts for Coach before we move on to the next segment?
One real quick thing about Austin Taylor that was impressive to me was, obviously we're talking about a sophomore quarterback's first varsity start, and we talked pregame show that way back in the old days, I got 2 quarters my whole sophomore year. Well, this young man is starting, and he's going to probably have the whole year. As the game progressed, what I noticed about him was he was reading the defenses, and he started picking on, single man coverage. He started seeing that, and when he started seeing that, it looked like his success rate started going up. Tell me a little bit about watching him kind of progress through that ball game.
Well, I think the biggest thing is, the game plan going in obviously was not to throw the ball that much or not to have to throw the ball that much. But I think when he hit Savion on the post route for a touchdown, I think that gave him, like any young kid, it gave him some confidence. But the thing I like about Austin when he comes to the sideline, the facial expression is the same. There's no high or low. I thought he handled transition when he made a bad decision. I thought he handled transition when he threw a touchdown. So, you want a kid to want coaching. And I thought for first varsity experience, against that quality of a team, to throw for 300 yards and probably should have been 3 touchdowns, you can't ask for a whole lot more than that.
Folks, when we come back, we will take a look ahead at the matchup on Friday night, senior night, taking on the Bryan Vikings. So don't go away, folks. This is the Hornet Nation Coaches Show, presented by Chick-fil-A of Huntsville and Diana K. Barnes State Farm Insurance. Stay with us. We'll be back in 60.
You might know that State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes has great service. She has been your good neighbor agent for 35 years after all. But did you know that State Farm has surprisingly great rates too? Yep, that's right. Along with good neighbor service, State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes has surprisingly great rates for everyone in Walker County. So call State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes at 936-295-2686 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
If you needed major surgery, you probably wouldn't choose a doctor who's never been to medical school. So when your car needs major repairs after a collision, why would you take your car to a body shop that's never been trained? Amaya's Collision Center is among only 15% of collision repair businesses to meet the industry's highest training standards as a gold class shop. They know the latest repair techniques, how to find hidden damage, and how to repair your car's critical safety features so they work properly again. With the safety of your vehicle and your family at stake, choose trained repair professionals. Choose Amaya's Collision Center at 686 I-45.
Back, ladies and gentlemen, live tonight in Chick-fil-A. Folks, how we doing tonight? That's what I love to hear. Yeah, it's been a long day for us folks here at KSAM. We were out at Bearcat Mania on the Sam Houston campus pretty much all day. My two guys, Tim Johnson and Brian Reeder, they know a thing or two about that. We were out there in the heat, but we are glad to be with you guys here tonight at Chick-fil-A in Huntsville for the Hornet Nation Coaches Show. If you're just joining us online or just popped in here, welcome. And we now move on to our second segment where we look ahead to the matchup with the Bryan Vikings on Friday night, senior night at that. Coach, it's a home opener for you guys. You get to be back at Bauer Stadium this year, and I know very, very soon it will be a brand new stadium you guys get into. How does it feel just to be back in Huntsville with a home crowd senior night?
Well, I think it's exciting for our kids. Obviously, you want to play, good teams, and you want to play good teams in your own backyard. And we're excited about the opportunity. Number one, again, another quality opponent. Coach Tullis has taken over that program, and they've got some kids back. Their quarterback is probably the best athlete on their football team, and he was hurt most of the year last year. This will be the biggest offensive line we've seen. They average about 340. The right tackle's listed at 365, and he looks bigger than that. So we're going to have our hands full again, but I think if we can take the things that we did last week and obviously improve on them. But we're glad, and I'm glad, obviously, for our seniors to do senior night. And we've moved senior night earlier in the year because I think it's important that you recognize those kids early because this is their last opportunity, and you want them to go out with the right mindset, but you also want them to have the opportunity to be recognized as well.
Coach, we talked a little bit about it a while ago, but kind of explain to everybody how practice was this week in preparation for the game against the Vikings this Friday.
Well, we've actually had a good week. The only thing that's bothered us, of course, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it seems like that's every thunderstorm and every lightning storm that comes through Huntsville area. So we've had a couple of those delays. We had a little bit of a delay today, but we were able to get back out and get on schedule. We've had good practices. These kids I think they love football, number one. I think they love being around each other. I think there's probably days where they don't want to see me, but there's days where, I think they love being around our coaches, and the atmosphere is incredible. Now we're obviously trying to get better every day at the little things because, like I told them from the start, we put you in some tough situations this year because these 4 teams you're playing number one, they're all bigger than you. They're all number-wise bigger than you. But these 4 games have got to get us ready because obviously we open district at Montgomery, and we've got to be on track when we get to that point because we've got to get back in the playoffs. And I think our kids understand that. I think our practice, especially Monday, when you come back from a loss, you don't want anything to distract from preparing for the next thing because you got to put that one behind you. So I thought we've had 3 good days of practice. We had a good weight workout this morning, so we're in good shape.
Coach, you talked about the Vikings a little bit, showing that the early look showed that they are quite big on that front and they are fast. Tell us a bit about what they bring to the table Friday night.
Well, I think offensively they're going to try to do what a lot of teams are doing now. You've got a big athletic quarterback, and the ball's going to go through him. They're trying to be RPO, run game, just like a lot of teams are doing today. But the kid does a lot of stuff with his legs, and he can hurt you. He's got a strong arm. I think last week, they scored 67 points last week against Waller, and I think he threw for a little over 300 yards, but he ran for almost 100. So I think their offense goes through him, and like I said, they've got those 5 big offensive linemen that they're going to rely on. And but again, I think with this quarterback, last year he broke a bone in his leg, so he missed the majority of the season. You also got a new offense and a new defense, and I think they're featuring him more than what they did a year ago. And, of course, when you get hurt, you don't know what's going to happen. But defensively, they're big up front, but athletically, they're a typical Bryan High team. They're skilled guys in the secondary. Their 2 inside linebackers are both athletic guys. So, it's going to be another challenge. It's going to be another game that'll probably go down to the wire, and we've just got to figure out how to make one more play than they do.
Coach, offensively, Austin Taylor, we've talked about him in the last segment. He showed good poise and got smarter with the ball as the game went on Friday night. How do you want him to elevate that this week against the Vikings?
Well, I think you got to take what they're going to give you. I told Savion today, Savion got clean breaks off the line of scrimmage the other night. I would doubt he's going to get those clean breaks off the line of scrimmage Friday night. They're going to do something to try to take away some of the things that we were successful with. So hopefully it opens up the run game, and we're not relying on Austin to have to throw the ball 50 times. But if we do that, he's got to be smart with the ball, and he's got to complete passes and move the chains and keep our offense on the field.
Coach, talk about the ground game again, and you kind of expounded on it a little bit ago with, kind of veering away from the game plan. It was a little rough start with the rushing offense. What are you and the coaches going to do differently this week to try to get that run game going?
Well, big thing when you go back and look, if you're just the average fan watching the game, you say, well, we couldn't run the ball. And that was obvious, but it wasn't what we were doing. It was what we were doing it against. Their 4 down guys, I would say, were very similar to the way we were in 18 and 19. When you can't move those guys and create seams, it makes it really, really hard on your running backs. And then the reads are not there for Austin to, okay, I need to pull this ball or I need to run whatever it might be at that situation. So, you don't scrap everything you're doing. We've just got to do it better than we did it a week ago. And hopefully because we threw the ball so well, it's going to back them off of us a little bit. Now you create some more running lanes.
Coach, on the defensive side of the ball, what have you and Coach Del Real discussed when looking at the Viking offense that's in front of you Friday?
Well, you got to take care of the quarterback. That's a number one priority. He's athletic. He's big. He's got a strong arm. You got to stay in coverage because if he scrambles, he's athletic enough to get the ball down the field. And I thought the other night the one thing we did, we tackled well. There were spurts where there were big plays, but big plays are not always tackling. Sometimes big plays are assignments or a stunt going into the wrong gap or something like that. But I thought we tackled well. I thought we grew up a little bit defensively. And we didn't have to rely on as many guys playing both sides of the ball as I thought we would initially. We may have to do that a little more this week just because of the numbers of guys. as we go along in this non-district schedule. But, you know, I think the game plan's not going to change significantly. You just got to make a few more plays, and we got to get off the field on third down.
Senior night, Friday night, you got 18 seniors on the roster. What are you going to do looking to those guys for leadership going into this game on Friday?
Well, I think those guys understand, especially those 5-0 linemen, that, you know, we said going in, and they knew it. Going in, we were going to run the football, and we didn't. But if you look back now, we look at it and grade how well they protected Austin when we did throw the ball. So, you know, those things are obviously a huge plus. And then the seniors, other than those 5-0 linemen, are kind of scattered. You know, we've got one senior on defense that plays a lot. And so you have to rely on those guys, but we've also got to rely on these other inexperienced guys to get a little better this week. They got a little better last week, and they'll be better after this game.
And to piggyback off of that, Coach, what have really these seniors on your team meant to this program over their time as Huntsville Hornet?
Well, this group is kind of unique because there's not a lot, and it's odd because it's not just football. You know, we don't have but one or two seniors in basketball. We only have one senior boy in wrestling. We've only got a couple or two or three in baseball. So it's just a small, and it's a big class of girls. So it's just one of those things you go through. You know, we're going to be sitting here 2 years from now, and we're going to have 38 seniors, and we're going to be looking and saying, well, what happened? Well, nothing happened. It's just the classes of kids that you get, and you have to play the hand you're dealt. You know, we can't transfer portal, and we can't go recruit anybody else, so you got to play with the guys you got. And it's a small class, you know, and looking at guys that, you know, some of these O-linemen have started for 2.5 years. You know, I feel for Arthur Sandel, who tore his ACL in the spring game. You know, was another guy that would be playing somewhere on the D-line that, you know, is not going to get that opportunity, but he's at practice every day. So that tells you a lot about kids that, and I think it tells you about where our program is, that kids want to be a part of that, and they understand it doesn't matter what the numbers are. That's what you got, and you got to work with it.
Lastly, Coach, to wrap all this one up in one big burrito, keys to a well-put-together game against Bryan Friday.
Well, we've got to make some more plays starting out, and this is going to sound crazy. We got to make more plays in the kicking game than we did the other night. We didn't have opportunities. I think we've got to be able to throw the ball, and if they're giving us what I think they're going to give us, they're going to take away some of our outside stuff passing game-wise by either what they're going to do defensively with their secondary guys, or they're going to blitz us. They've got a big outside linebacker, number 6, who athletically is dangerous, and they put him in different places on the field. We're going to have to know where he is and make sure we've got him blocked. But I think if we do those two things, I think the other things that happen, you can't give up big plays defensively. You know, we gave up that big long run the other night, and that just takes a wind out of your sails when that happens. But if we'll move the ball offensively and make a couple more plays in the kicking game, that'll give us an opportunity to win the game.
Coach, as always, we appreciate your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on.
No problem.
Once again, and we'll have you on every single week. Give a big round of applause, head coach Rodney Southern. And, folks, when we come back, we move on to one of my favorite parts of this show. It's the player segment. Kicking things off will be sophomore wide receiver Savion Conte. So stick around, folks, on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show, presented by Chick-fil-A of Huntsville and Diana K. Barnes State Farm Insurance.
Bank with confidence with the hometown bank, First National Bank of Huntsville. Our bank lobbies are open, and we also have 3 drive-through locations, multiple ATMs, telephone banking, plus online and mobile banking options, all available for your safety and convenience. For over 130 years, our focus has always been about the great people in our community. As Huntsville's only locally owned community bank, you can trust First National Bank of Huntsville to be your financial partner today and for future generations.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you stuck at home? Why not be comfortable with the new True Comfort series by McGilberry Mechanical? With intelligent Wi-Fi control, 700 speeds of comfort, and 12 years, no repair cost, you can rest easy. With our True Comfort series, your air will be cleaner and you will be more comfortable than ever. Call us today to learn about our 12-year peace of mind, no repair cost. 936-291-2640.
and gentlemen, welcome back here inside Chick-fil-A Huntsville for the Hornet Nation Coaches Show. Folks, how we doing? We doing good?
Well, I think everybody's doing good, man.
I think so.
Yeah.
They're all happy?
Yeah, they look all happy.
See a familiar face in the crowd. Matthew Schweitzer. What's up, man? What's up, man? Love that kid. All right, folks, welcome back here on the show. We welcome you now to our player segment. Kicking things off will be sophomore wide receiver number 14, Savion Conte. Y'all give him a round of applause coming on tonight. Savion, how you doing, man?
I'm good, and you?
Doing fantastic. It was a bit warm out there today, but, we're doing good. We're doing good. I'm not going to complain. You were out there in the heat with pads on and everything. I remember that all too well, so I won't talk too much. I want to start things off, get a little bit of background about you, let the Huntsville community know more about you. When did you know that football was the sport you wanted to play?
When I was 6.
When you were 6?
I came back from Ohio during the summer, and my parents put me in football at HYFL. I was playing with Boss. I was a wide receiver. I did not know what I was doing. I just knew how to catch the ball.
Let me ask you this, too. What's it been like so far? Before I get to that, is this your first year at the varsity level? Or
yes.
have you? Okay, cool.
I played varsity in basketball.
Okay, gotcha. But in terms of the varsity level in football, what's it been like for you playing at the varsity level? Because you get to experience Texas high school football. What's it been like for you so far?
I mean, I expect most of it. I watch a lot of high school football on YouTube and stuff. Try to get used to it and expect things.
I think our banner fell down right in front of us. Our good man, Tim Johnson, will put it back up. Anyway, moving right along, what of previous wide receivers from this program, especially ones from last season like Justin Butcher, Cam Cole, Matt Long, what have they been feeding into you and helping you along in your young career so far?
Matt, he always pushed me. JB, he was always like a competitive person to me. Trey Taylor, he was like a brother to me.
There you go.
And I look up to Jalen Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be like him, but a lot better. I want to go far.
I don't know if Jalen's watching, but hey, you got a guy coming after you right now. Let's look back to Friday night in CSTAT. It became clear to me right out of the gate that you and Austin had an immediate connection from QB to wide receiver, and that you love to see that coming out of a first game. You had a 52-yard strike in the second. You had an 80-yard strike in the third. What have you and Austin just been talking about in practice and during the game to just help build that relationship between quarterback and wide receiver?
Well, he throw the ball, I got to catch it. Quarterback's not perfect, and he's young, so like our coach told us, Coach Parham, if the quarterback throw it our way, we just got to catch it.
Savion, what have you and the coaching staff been working on most this week from the things you learned from this past Friday that's going to help you going into this Friday night's game?
Mainly speed in your routes and blocking for sure. But it's always catching the ball. And then, you got to be ready. It could be a 2-ball, 3-ball. You got to be ready.
That's the thing about it. Being a wide out, you got a quarterback that he's either rolling back, rolling to the side, either side, or dropping straight back, and you're in the progressions. You have, 3 or 4 progressions, and as he's going through, no matter what, you have to do your job, right?
Yes, sir.
Because you never know when that ball's coming your way.
Yes, sir.
So that's good. I'm glad to hear that. That's some good things to work on, your route running and things like that, because, with the pro season getting ready to start off, you watch some of those Hard Knocks and things like that, and I was watching the receivers from, I think it was Detroit Lions, and that's exactly what they harped on, was running those precise routes, so the timing between you and the quarterback will be just dead on. And it seems to me that's what you guys are working on. That's good. That's good stuff. Glad to hear it.
Savion, looking at the defense that you'll be up against on Friday night against Bryan, what have you seen on film so far that the Vikings bring to the table for you to battle against on Friday?
It looks like they'll give up a whole bunch of 2-balls, but they have speed, so we just got to take what we can get.
Well, hey, you got speed too. I saw you out there Friday night. You were lighting it up. And I remember specifically on that 80-yard touchdown, you had that defender coming after you. And as I was calling the action, I was like, oh, is he going to slip away from the guy? And then you made a little shimmy move, and he just fell right to the ground. So that's good stuff. And I just hope to see some of that as well coming up this Friday. Now, it's going to be a home opener for you guys. Friday night, you get to be in front of the home crowd. We'll see the Huntsville faithful come out in droves over to Bauer Stadium. What does it feel like for you, be in front of the home crowd for the first time?
I'm very happy for that, but I think we got to be calm, stay locked in, and don't let, the intensity get us.
I had fun crafting up this next question earlier today. What best describes your style of play as a wide receiver? Are you more of a DeAndre Hopkins, Randy Moss type of playmaker at wideout? Are you a speed threat like Tyreek Hill, or are you more of a ball hawk like Julian Edelman or a Jerry Rice? What do you describe yourself as? Or are you just Savion Conte?
I think I'm more than just Savion Conte.
That's the right attitude to have. That's what I like to hear. Who or what inspires you really to play to the best of your ability every week? Is there someone in your life that really just gives you that inspiration to give it your all out there on the field?
My uncle, he died 2019, and it hit me pretty hard. I never really cried that much at a funeral before. So after he died, I just took, he used to always, hype me up and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I just took that and ran with it. So everything I do, I say I do it for him.
There you go, man. That's the right way to go about it. Do you have any pregame routines on game day? Anything you do?
I listen to music all day.
All day? All day long?
Yes, sir.
Anyone in particular?
Rod Wave.
Okay.
It's I think he real inspirational in what he say.
Good deal. Good deal.
Savion, what do you do outside of football for fun? Any hobbies? Do you watch anime or anything like that?
No, sir.
Good.
I haven't played basketball in a while, but I used to hoop a lot. And I like to go to the field, just work. I think it's, beautiful to me just to go to the field by yourself and work. It's like art.
I miss it a lot, being able to just go out there on the field, hit somebody and everything. So, that's good. Just live and breathe football. Nothing wrong with that. Now, if you were going to play any other position in football outside of wide receiver, which one is it and why?
Man, that's hard. I couldn't answer that because I'm left-handed and I can't throw for nothing.
That's why you're a wideout.
No, Mike, not a Mike Vick type of guy. All right. This one was not received well by Mr. Shiloh Jones last week. But what do you like most about school? Favorite subject? Anything on that front?
My school's a little chaotic, but I really like it. I like school. I don't really have a problem with it. As long as I can listen to music to I lock in when I got music. And I can concentrate way easier. I really won't talk to nobody. So
good deal. Plans for after high school? I know you're a sophomore, so you still got time to think about it, but you have any plans for after high school and for your career?
I want to go to college. And if I don't go to the NBA or the NFL, I can do whatever I want to. So.
All the power to you, my friend. Before we let you go, Savion, do you have anybody you want to give a shout-out to before we let you go?
My whole family, my little cousin Ryan, Jacob, my dog out there.
You got anyone in the crowd out here tonight?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, Savion, we appreciate you coming on this evening, and best of luck to you guys Friday night. We are looking forward to it. Man, let me tell you, you got me hyped up right out of the gate Friday night, and I hope to see more of that coming up. So appreciate you coming on. Best of luck, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good luck.
Folks, when we come back, we will now switch it over to the defensive side of the ball. Joining us in a few moments is junior cornerback Isaiah Collins. So stick around here on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show tonight in Chick-fil-A.
Did you know there's a place where you can get good neighbor service and surprisingly great rates on home and auto insurance? Yep, and that place is, ta-da, State Farm. Here's the deal. State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes is your go-to agent in Walker County for the service you deserve at the price you want. So stop shopping around. State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes has you covered. Call 936-295-2686 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
This is Kevin with Beckham & Jones. Don't let the heat and humidity of the Texas summer make your utility bill skyrocket. Get rid of that old, inefficient air conditioning system and let us help you stay cool with a new high-efficiency Carrier air conditioning system so you will stay comfortable in your home without the worry of high utility bills. Call 936-295-9173 today for Carrier peace of mind and for information about our filtration and air purification solutions for allergies. Your neighbor since 1946. Now that's Beckham & Jones.
License number 26079C.
Gentlemen, we are back here inside Chick-fil-A, folks. Show's starting to wind down, but we're still having a good time out here, aren't we? Come on, let me hear you. Good stuff, good stuff. If you're just joining us, folks, we'd like to welcome you inside Chick-fil-A in Huntsville on the I-45 southbound feeder. I want to give a big shout-out to the folks here at Chick-fil-A. They have been fantastic tonight, getting us water, everything we need, and helping us get underway, and of course hosting us tonight. We thank you very, very much. Continuing on our player segment, we now welcome junior cornerback Isaiah Collins. Give it up for him, folks.
All right.
Isaiah, how you doing, my man? Doing good? Good deal, good deal. I'll ask a couple of similar questions I asked to Savion to get things started. When did you know that football was the sport to go with? There's a lot to choose from.
I've been playing football since I was 4 years old in HYFL, so I just been my whole life. Dang. My whole life.
Throwing a lot of power into it, man. Yeah. I mean, that's what you got to do when you're playing corner. What's it been like for you at the varsity level? I believe this has been your second year at the varsity level, getting to play Texas high school football. What's that been like for you?
It's been fun. The first year I had to get used to it. But now I'm used to it, so now I can just, do it for real.
Get on out there and do it.
Yes, sir.
So let me get your opinion on something. What's really been I hope this isn't too tough. What's the toughest learning experience you've had so far as a cornerback at the varsity level that's really helped you grow as an athlete?
Playing somebody that's faster than you, because you try not to get beat deep, but then they'll beat you on something quick, and then they get yards off of it, so it's just a lose-lose situation.
What have you done to help you get better in that aspect, to be able to not get beat?
I got faster, and I worked on my coverage, and so now I'm the one they trying to beat me. You feel me?
Yes, sir, I do. Yes, sir, I do. I played a little corner in high school, so I know your spot very well. Yes, sir, I did. I know it don't look like it now, but, that is what it is. So looking through the eyes of a player in the secondary, what really just goes through your mind when the opposing team snaps the ball? What just goes through your mind as it goes on?
I think about, when it first get out there, I think about the distance, down the distance, see what they possibly could run. And then I look at the formation and see, film work. I do a lot of film work and see what they like to run out of the play. And it's just a whole lot going on, processing what's going on. And then I just go out there and I execute.
Isaiah, what did you learn from last Friday night's ball game that's going to help you prepare for the Vikings this Friday night?
From last Friday night, I learned that you got to work on tackling, and then I got to be there more. If somebody running it, I got to try my hardest to get there and go get them, even if they're on the other side of the field. Yeah.
So some just kind of personal things that help you get better, things like that. Stay tighter on your coverage, things along those lines, pursuit angles, and so forth. Good. Well, that's what each game is for. Go out and get better each week. I remember when Coach Southern came in here 9 years ago. If I remember correctly, it was one of his biggest things was 1%. Every day get 1% better, and and I've seen it just kind of spread, and all these Hornets take that to heart. And it seems to me like that's what you just said.
Yes, sir.
Isaiah, what have you learned most from your DB coaches so far through this young season?
They taught me to have confidence. Confidence is a big key to play DB especially, but football in general, confidence is a good thing to have when you're playing.
And then looking ahead to what Brian, the Vikings offense, brings to you, what has stood out to you so far in film, and what do you plan to do individually to combat their receiving core?
Their receivers, they good at catching. They not just too fast. They fast, but they not just too fast. They not real athletic, but they can make plays. And so we just got to stay in coverage. Like he say, the quarterback do a scramble. He can throw it up anytime. We just got to stay in coverage and play the ball in the air.
Take me inside what it's like with you guys as cornerbacks and safeties in the secondary. What have you guys been talking about in practice just to prepare for Friday?
For Friday, we've been talking about, like I say, staying in coverage, coming down here to hit, because they like to do a good amount of running. And so we can't just let that happen. So we got to go down and hit. And don't be scared to hit either,
Looking at Brian's offense, what stood out for you most in the film study, and what do you individually plan on doing to combat the receiving core for the Vikings?
They got two receivers they like to throw it to a lot, and so make sure they keep a tight eye on them. And then they got some running backs. One of them real strong, one of them shifty. So you got to know the difference between that. And then, yeah.
You know, one of the things you said just a little bit ago, you talk about the confidence level. And I'll be honest with you, that goes with anything in life, right?
Real. Yes, sir.
You've got to be confident in what you're doing. And I've been watching these Hornets since I was in grade school. And I've watched them just year after year, fortunate enough to play for them many years ago. But every Hornet team I've ever seen or I've ever been a part of had the confidence level through the roof.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter who they were fixing to play. They were going to go out and take care of business and beat on them. Is that how you feel about it as well?
Yes, sir. That's how I was last week. That's how I am this week. For the rest of the season, that's how I'm going to be.
Got to love it.
It's the right attitude to have. Isaiah, you guys are going to be in front of the home crowd Friday night over at Bowers. It's the home opener and senior night to boot. How do you feel just getting to be back in front of the home crowd and feel that atmosphere?
I'm happy. I'm ready for it. Show out in front of the Ville.
Good deal. Good deal. Now, I want you to kind of walk me through what's a week in the life of Isaiah Collins throughout the week, even with just mixing in football and school and everything in your life. What's that like?
It's really not too complicated. Go to school, go to practice, come home, probably get another workout in, eat, do homework, go to sleep. It's
Repeat.
Really nothing, for real.
I wish my life was that simple. Who or what inspires you really to play to the best of your ability every week, week in and week out? Who inspires you?
My parents, my family. I just want to get everybody up there, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully we all be rich.
Good.
Well, that's what we all hope. Promise.
I'm in radio, so I don't know if I'm ever going to get there. But in terms of past players that you've learned from over the years, who are some guys that stick out to you that have really helped you along in your young career?
I used to watch Ethan Mana because he had like a good season his last senior year. And that was his only year on varsity, and he went up there and did with the best really I seen. And, yeah, I used to watch him. He used to tell me stuff, give me tips. Yeah.
Well, this appears the sun has decided to come and say hello. We didn't see much of that today, but either way. Do you have any pregame routines that you go through on game day to get ready for the ball game?
Like Savion said, I listen to music, a lot of it. A lot of music.
Loud music?
Yes, sir.
Bass boosted?
Bass boosted.
Attaboy. There you go. What do you do for fun outside of football? Anything?
Yeah. I like to go outside. I live in the country, so it's just a whole lot of open field. Play with the dog, play basketball. Yeah.
Isaiah, if you were going to play any other position in football, any position at all besides cornerback, what position would that be?
Probably be safety or receiver. I'm taller, so it'll probably be easier. Probably be easier to go to receiver.
Go just to the opposite side of the ball, huh?
Yeah, or safety, though.
Not the kicker.
Safety. Nah.
Good, because we gave that up, too.
I used to in HYFL,
we got two people wanting to do that.
Was that Matthew last week?
That was Matthew last week.
I mean, all the power to him. What do you like most about school? You any favorite subjects?
Nah, not really.
We're getting a trend with the defensive players here, not liking school.
I say my favorite subject probably science, because I like to just do stuff that make other stuff happen, you know what I'm saying? Like reactions, chemical reactions, stuff like that.
Stuff. Do you have any plans for after high school and for your career?
After high school, hopefully I can go to the NFL, hopefully at least college football, do what I can there, and then probably do some type of construction. I like construction.
See, that's always good. I like to hear. I know a lot of the young athletes want to go play ball at the next level, but they have that backup ready to go in case that doesn't work out. So you're real smart for doing that. All right, before we let you go, Isaiah, anybody you want to give a shout out to tonight? Anybody in the crowd you want to shout out?
Shout out to my mom. Shout out to my cousin. Shout out to everybody here. Shout out to my pops, HYFL. They did a whole lot of helping me get here to where I am right now. Yeah.
Good stuff. Isaiah, thanks for coming on. Best of luck to you guys on Friday night. We will see you there, and hope you guys come out with a victory.
Yes, sir.
All right, give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Isaiah Collins.
Nice job, Isaiah.
All right, we have one final segment that we're going to stretch out a bit. We are going to hear from the Huntsville Hornet Quarterback Club, and I don't know who's coming up here tonight. We might just have to cast lots. It appears it'll be Casey one more time. All right, folks, when we come back, we will have a word from Miss Casey Kroll from the Huntsville Hornet Quarterback Club. So stick around, folks, here tonight on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show.
Why are people driving from all over Texas to Wiesner Automotive Accessories Superstore to get a real deal on automotive, marine, and ATV accessories? No matter what you need to take pride in your ride, we got it. Bedliners, custom bumpers, lighting, wheels, tires, sound, and wraps. And now beat the heat with special pricing on all window tints featuring in-house professional installation. Get 100 days stainless cash financing. Wiesner Automotive Accessories Superstore, 3502 West Davis Street in Conroe, or WiesnerAccessories.com, making the ordinary extraordinary.
Man, I slept.
New ZQuil Pure Z's Restorative Herbal Sleep is made for people who are tired of being tired.
I've never slept like this before. I've never woken up like this before.
A melatonin-free sleep aid made with a botanical blend that contains clinically studied and effective valerian root, hops, and passion flower, shown to help promote better restorative sleep. ZQuil Pure Z's Restorative Herbal Sleep. Sleep this good, feel this good. Available at retailers near you.
Gentlemen, welcome back to our final segment here tonight on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show. Folks, it's been a good show tonight. How about it? How y'all doing? Thank you to everyone that's been on tonight. Now I will welcome back to the show for a second time this week. We'll get cue cards for Kim next week. But it'll be Ms. Casey Kroll from the Huntsville Hornet Quarterback Club. Y'all give her a round of applause, Ms. Casey Kroll.
Thank you very much.
President of the Huntsville Hornet Quarterback Club. What do you guys currently have in the works right now for Hornet Nation to get excited about?
We have got in our great spirit gear that we have been working really diligently on getting. We have the spirit flags. They came in today. They will be sold out front of the stadium Friday night. We have two different sizes. One's going to be $30. One's going to be $15. So bring your money. Come get you a spirit flag.
You know, accepting cash or card?
Both.
Both.
Yes. Long as we have Wi-Fi, we have the square. Correct, treasurer, back there in the corner? Okay.
What?
You just gave kind of a.
We do.
We'll go from there.
We can take a card, long as the internet and things are cooperating. But yes, cash, check, credit card. We're ready. We're going to have T-shirts and koozies, and we still have some of the Dave Campbell's magazines with the special Hornet cover on them. We have a few of those left as well. So Friday night, right in front of the stadium, you'll see me, a couple others, Kimberly Taylor, and a couple other volunteers from our booster club. We're going to be selling spirit gear. Hornet Buddies. We have no more spots for Hornet Buddies. We got a few more that we're trying to cover. It's kindergarten through 6th grade. You have to have a parent with you. Parents, remember, don't drop your kids off and run. Our volunteers want to see their kiddos play football too. So when you come in, you're going to take your Hornet Buddy all the way to the big scoreboard down on the end where the band comes through. You'll meet with Miss Jennifer Harrison, our VP, and a couple other, Miss Elliott, a few other volunteers that'll be there, and they're going to take care of your child from that point till they come across the field where one of you need to pick up your children. Guardian, big brother, big sister, someone must take the child that they belong to. I've tried selling mine. I'm sorry.
Where's he at? He's
back there.
It's all good, JT. It's all good. You weren't paying attention, were you? All right, here we go. Casey, what can the folks, within Hornet Nation and here in town do to help you guys out in any possible facet?
Anyone can come to our meetings on Monday night at 6 o'clock, except for this Monday night because it is Labor Day. But any other Monday, 6 o'clock, we really want input from the community. We want guests to come join our booster club, see what we're about, help us support our young youth. But we cover 7th grade through varsity. Pretty much we're there to support the coaches and the athletes and whatever they might need for the season. At the end of the year, we do a banquet for the high school players. We're working on some stuff for the junior high players this year. So anyone is welcome to join us. Give us some input. Give us some ideas. We're up for any good challenge.
Brian, do you have anything for Casey?
Yeah, you know what? I think what you do, the Hornet Quarterback Club is a tremendous organization. I mean, it is – how can people out there – what can they do to volunteer to help either join, help out on the causes with the lower sub-varsity ball games, anything they can do to help, how can people, where do they need to go, what do they have to do to join up?
They can come to the meeting. They can follow us on Huntsville Hornet Football on Facebook. We put a lot of information on there. They can just let us know, hey, we're willing to help, we're willing to do this. We, as the boosters, we cover the junior high games, JV and freshman games in the concession stand at the high school. And we always are needing anyone to help with the concession stand and sell spirit gear on the same night. All the money raised with our spirit gear and concessions, all that money goes back to the program itself. So if Coach comes and tells, hey, we need meals, we need shirts, we're there to help what we can do.
You know what? All you guys out there who are in the restaurant here tonight with us, and those of you who are listening on the radio, I implore you, come join and help the cause. I mean, what a better opportunity to help this community, help this football program, and help all the schools, not just the varsity, but the junior high, the younger schools and things like that. We need your help. Please come out, help us out. We need it, and we'd appreciate it very much.
Yeah, especially with the new stadium coming. We've had a larger turnout for the quarterback club this year than I have seen last year. So the more parents that get involved, the more community get involved, the bigger our program is going to grow with the bigger stadium coming. We're definitely going to need some more hands on deck.
Casey, before I let you go, I want to just pick your brain for a minute. Why do you do what you do with the Huntsville Hornet Quarterback Club?
Wait, you picked my brain? No, I love helping in any way I can. I did this back 8 years ago for my daughter when she was in cheer. All 4 years of cheer, I helped do boosters for her. To me, it's just part of being a parent. When your kid's involved in something, if you can be involved and help out, even if it's just working concession stand one time, at least you're seeing what your child is doing or what can be done. I just do it because I guess I want to. It's just me.
Hey, that there's nothing wrong with that, doing what you want to do. And then, of course, you have a son to be able to tide along as well with it. So it's
kind of. I love him.
He wasn't paying attention again. So, all right. Casey, thank you again once again for coming on, and thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Now, but I'm going to let you sit there before we go. I want to let you all know what is coming up here this week for not just for the Hornets, but for the Bearcats as well. Hornet football, of course, the focus, Friday night at Bauer Stadium. We're going to go live with pregame at 7 p.m. We'll have kickoff at 7:30 p.m. right here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network and on 101.7 KSAM. And, folks, the next day, me and this guy will make the trip over to College Station for the Bearcats against the number 6 ranked Texas A&M Aggies. We will go live with pregame at 10:30 a.m. in College Station, and we will go live with the kickoff at 11 a.m. for the Bearcats and the Aggies. But, of course, we can't wait for Friday night as well. We're going to get into the swing of doing a doubleheader of football every single week going through the rest of the season. All right, folks, that's going to do it for us here tonight on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show. I want to thank everyone for making this possible. Of course, our friends here at Chick-fil-A for having us here once again tonight. Give a big round of applause to the folks here at Chick-fil-A. Big thank you to all of them. Of course, to my broadcast partner, Brian Adams, and to my engineer this evening. You guys may recognize him from past games he's done with the Hornets. This is Jordan Smith, a good friend of mine and graduate of Sam Houston, so a big thank you to you as well, Jordan, and to our board out back at the station, Luke Scott. Thank you very much as well. As always, before we go tonight, we got to let the people know. We got to let the people know all the way in Bryan what's going to be coming in on Friday night. Let's give a big 1, 2, 3 sting 'em, folks. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Sting 'em!
Have a good rest of your night, folks, and we will see you on Friday. That'll do it for us here tonight in Chick-fil-A.
Bank with confidence with the hometown bank, First National Bank of Huntsville. Our bank lobbies are open, and we also have 3 drive-through locations, multiple ATMs, telephone banking, plus online and mobile banking options, all available for your safety and convenience. For over 130 years, our focus has always been about the great people in our community. As Huntsville's only locally owned community bank, you can trust First National Bank of Huntsville to be your financial partner today and for future generations.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you stuck at home? Why not be comfortable with the new True Comfort series by McGilberry Mechanical? With intelligent Wi-Fi control, 700 speeds of comfort, and 12 years, no repair cost, you can rest easy. With our True Comfort series, your air will be cleaner and you will be more comfortable than ever. Call us today to learn about our 12-year peace of mind no repair cost. 936-291-2640.
This has been the Huntsville Hornets Coaches Show with head coach Rodney Southern. Brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Hornet Pride